If you are, or someone you know is young and unemployed, maybe struggling to find the right job, have you or have they considered working for yourself? The British Youth Support Trust is a charity that helps disadvantaged people do exactly that. Richard Nuttall is Chief Executive at Shropshire's Youth Support Trust. Richard, thank you for joining us this morning. I've not really gone into much detail about what you do. Can you kind of flesh it out a bit for us? What does Shropshire Youth Support Trust do?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Jim. We are a charity, registered charity, and we support young people between the age of 16 to 30 to explore their own ideas and passions and ultimately create their own job. Although we've just launched a new program whereby we're actually helping people to find employment as well.
Right. When it comes to creating their own job, for people who might have struggled to find the right job for themselves, that might seem like quite a leap that they're going to need a lot of support with.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Which is why we purposely created our program to span over a 2-year period to ensure that they had longer-term support. A lot of programs tend to be fairly short-lived, a maximum of 12 months. But with self-employment, there's a lot to it. It can be very daunting for most people anyway. But the trade-off is, if you can discover something that you enjoy doing and it's a passion of yours, and you turn that into something that you're doing every day and getting paid for, then it's very rewarding.
So tell me about the support that is actually on offer and how you provide it.
Yeah, sure. So we do start off with an initial registration and an assessment, and during that assessment period, which is 1-to-1, a lot of our work is 1-to-1 generally. We help them develop an action plan going forward. Because everyone's individual, we tend to go at their pace, but we do set them deadlines. We have 6 core modules, which cover different main aspects of how to set up and run a business, and they're supplemented by individual 1-to-1 work, and also sub-modules, which can be quite a specific sort of workshop-based type of support, which could be how to create a business Instagram page, for example. On top of that, we also have what we call our sister panel. So we've actually managed to get some very kind and generous local Shropshire-based businesses who sit on a panel. It's a bit like a dragon's den, but a lot more friendly. And then our beneficiaries can go in front of the panel, talk to them in a very informal manner about themselves, about their business, their journey, where they want to get to, and they'll start getting advice from them there and then. And then we also will, from that panel, we will allocate, or even prior to the panel, in fact, we will actually allocate them a mentor to that person for their business. And then they'll also have the opportunity to go back in front of the panel a second time at a later stage to apply for a small grant.
What sort of businesses are the young people that you're working with looking to set up?
Incredibly varied. We've had all sorts. We've had more traditional, what people see more traditional type businesses. So we've got people setting up things in food industry. Got people setting up cleaning businesses. We've had people setting up to be a driving instructor. We've people going to construction, that type of thing. Quite recently, we've had somebody set up a business who deals in manga anime.
Oh, right.
Sort of like comics and that type of thing. We've had a business in the past who set up, going to those sorts of events, those Comic-Con events, but they were supplying materials and helping and showing people how to create costumes.
And as you say, this is a prime example of people taking their passions, taking what they care about, and creating a business for it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's a joy to see.
I'm sure. I'm sure it must be. This is this. I think you kind of alluded to this earlier on. The NEET's ReEngagement program.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me a bit more about that.
We've got this NEET ReEngagement program. So NEET stands for Not in Education, Employment or Training. So these are young people who've between the age of 16 and 18, who the local authority have identified obviously not in employment, education or training, and typically they generally need additional support. They've got complex needs and multiple barriers to employment, and it could be anything. For example, we work, particularly at the moment, there's a bit of a pandemic for young people in terms of mental health and struggling with anxiety. So what we're doing is we're offering them some initial support to help them identify an activity, something to help them motivate them to get out and do something. And as part of that program, we're helping them transition from doing one-to-one work into group work. And we just had a young lad actually who's just transitioned from the NEET ReEngagement program, where he'd never undertaken anything like this at all. He wanted to look into doing graphic design.
Right, yeah.
So we got a professional graphic designer in to sit and work with him one-to-one.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, what an opportunity for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he's now transitioned onto our main program, which is called Breakthrough. And he's now doing that, so it's just really amazing to see that transition from one to another as well.
You get a lot of support from local businesses, don't you?
Yes, and it's very, very, very valuable to us. We're incredibly grateful for it as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. Because I mean, they're the people that are alongside your young entrepreneurs and giving them ideas and helping them out.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And we have some great mentors who are working with some of our beneficiaries and helping them to continue to move forward and helping them to overcome other barriers as well. But we've got a number of programs happening at the moment. We've got one at the moment which we are in partnership with other European organisations based in France, Sweden and Estonia. It's all based around coding, AI and robotics. And the concept of that is that I've now got key members of staff and youth workers who are able to show other youth workers or people working with young people how to use coding, AI and robotics, so they can then teach those young people in an informal setting. And we've got a young person at the moment who's looking to transition over to look into doing coding, because they ultimately would like to work towards setting up their own business using coding to create apps and games and things like that.
That's fantastic. I mean, talk about young people getting in on the ground floor of the future. That's a tremendous thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And bear in mind, obviously, the new generation of young people that's now entered into the world of work, and that percentage will grow much, much bigger as time goes forward. Which is Generation Z. They've not known anything other than the internet's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Technology's been there the whole time. Yeah. So utilising these methods now is obviously quite a key thing, and it will be quite a key thing for employers as well.
If you or someone you know would be helped by this, go and have a look at the website. There's loads of fascinating information on the SYSTbusiness.co.uk. SYSTbusiness.co.uk. Richard Nuttall from Shropshire Youth Support Trust. Thank you very much for being with us on BBC Radio Shropshire this morning.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Richard. Good to talk to you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye. BBC Radio Shropshire, 13 minutes to 11.